Welcome to the Wise Woman Zoom circle. I'm so grateful for you. And if you're watching this replay, I'm grateful for you as well. So this is going to be about a 20-minute, give or take, little talk. So I thought I would just show up and share some things with you. If you wanted to go grab some tea, you can grab some tea. I have some. Today's tea for me is chamomile with skullcap and honey. That's what I'm drinking today. So let's get into what we're here for. So I just would like you to find a place to be comfortable, place your hands on your heart space, and let's breathe together. Just really feeling your body, feeling any sensations that come up for you. And then I would like to read this. You can continue to breathe with your hands on your heart space if you'd like, but I would like to read this for you. Believe in yourself and be patient. Your life is a masterpiece unfolding. Although you may not feel that you are making progress because certain things you want to happen in your life haven't happened yet, this place you are in now is important too. Waiting for your efforts to produce results may test your patience and resolve, but I am impressed with your control and perseverance as you take each small step toward your dreams and your goals. Even though you may not be able to see it now, I just wanted to tell you that you are a tapestry in progress, a masterpiece unfolding. You are worthy, you are deserving, you are loved. Even when it doesn't feel like it, believe it and be patient. Your dreams will happen, and someday you will look back on this moment in time and understand the meaning of this place you're in now. As it is, too, adds depth, dimension, and form of work of art. That is you. That is beautiful. I love that. Absolutely. So let's see. I'm going to light a candle for us all. I like to share the candle that I have today to light. It's quite enormous, but I love this candle. Look how big this candle is. This candle is filled with so much good energy and love and light for all of you. So I light this candle not just for me, but for you as well. And we are united in one. Once I can get it lighted together. Here you go. United as one. Okay, so I have the candle lit, and I would like to smudge. I also got the big stick of smudge out today with dragon's blood as well. So I'm going to light this for us to spread some good energy. And I'm going to smudge for you and smudge for me. So we're smudged together. Have some good energy, good smudging energy today. All right. So let's take a sip of our tea or drink, glass of water, whatever you want to drink that feels nourishing for your body. That's all that matters. And depending on when you're watching this, maybe you're drinking your coffee, or maybe you're drinking some juice, or maybe you're drinking a soda, maybe you're drinking some tea, maybe you're drinking some milk. Whatever works for you is what I encourage. All right. So I would like to get into I have an introspective question. These are empowering questions. And what these are questions that you can ask yourself. So I will answer for me, and then you can ask yourself. And I would love for you to comment on the comments what your answer was to this and inspire the other beautiful goddesses out there as well. Hold on 1 second. Okay, got some spiritual activity going on today. Things are moving and grooving. All right, so our empowering question for today is there something I should let go of to be able to move forward? So that's a really good question. So let's ponder that for a moment. Is there something that you should let go of so that you can move forward? Just really meditate on that and look at overall in your life. It could be body, mind, spirit. It could be something really tiny or something really big, just depending on your circumstances. And it can change day to day. So for today, in this moment that you're watching this, is there something you should let go of to be able to move forward? And for me is I believe that I should let go of being perfection, because I think it's beautiful to be perfectly imperfect. And that means to me that no matter what's happening, no matter what's going on in my world, if I have plans and I set these plans and they don't go as planned, that's okay. Things do not have to be perfect for me to show up in my life. Things do not have to go perfectly for me to show up in my life. And so, with that wisdom, for me personally, it's letting go of the idea of perfection and letting things be as they are with no judgment so that I can move forward. That's where I'm at. Where are you at with this question? All right, let's take another sip of tea and just be. It's just good to be. The sunshiny day here today, and I'm so excited for that. It makes me feel so good to be on the sun. I've been outside most of the day today. It's great. Okay, so our next thing on our agenda is there is a technique that I would like to share with you, and I'm going to read a little bit on it first so that you understand how important, how wonderful this technique is. And this is for stress relief. This is just to relieve stress, and maybe you've gone through something that is caused some anxious, is that even a word? Anxiety, some stress in your life. And this one specific energy medicine uh, activity is going to really help with that. And I know it's been helping me out tremendously. And this is from Donna Eden. If you have not heard of her, I highly suggest you look her up. Donna Eden Energy Medicine. She is all over the place. She's on YouTube. She's got a website. I actually took her program, and that's what this is from. And so I just wanted to share with you some information on this beautiful it's called a near it's the stress connection and the neurovascular reflex points is what it is. Okay, and we're going to practice it together after I kind of explain what this is all about. All right, so when you're stressed, blood rushes from your forehead, the advanced thinking part of your brain, into your limbs and your chest to support your fight or flight response. So everything from our brains and our forehead leaves us and goes to these areas and our feet and our chest so we can run because we're, feeling like we're in fight or flight. Now that doesn't mean that um, you actually need to run from something, but anytime that our body feels stress and we feel that feeling of fight or flight, that automatically signals to our body that we need to run. It doesn't matter what kind of stress it is. It could be any stress, like just maybe you got an argument with someone, or maybe you had a rough day at work, or anything like that. That can build stress within your body, and your body feels that fight or flight and just wants to get out of the stress. Okay, so we did not evolve to be able to think our way out of danger, but rather for the autonomic system to take over to ensure instant effective responses. However, Fight or flight or freeze response is not an effective way to manage most of today's stressors. It's not, because a lot of times we're not able to just freeze or run from it. So we have to find ways to be able to navigate through it without overtaxing our adrenals, overtaxing our nervous system. And I know me personally, I literally live in fight or flight. I have lived in fight or flight. I am really working diligently to not live there anymore. And so this is one of the techniques that I use to help me maintain my balance when stressors do come, because, right, we're human. Things are going to happen. And so it's important that we navigate them in a healthiest way. And that helps us get away from anxiety. It helps us get away from stress. It helps us be able to deal with things with a clear head. So the stresses that hit us today rather require us to be able to think clearly. The neurovascular reflex points help your body to learn to meet stress with your forebrain working at an optimal level. So getting that brain, our forebrain right here, which we need to be clear, thinking on its prime anytime we're stressed, okay? So it's important that we focus on that. Okay, so the neurovascular reflex points are most frequently used for managing stress and blood flow. They can be touched or held to boost blood circulation and draw the blood back into the brain. This allows you to think clearly and recenter emotionally. Using these points also trains your body to meet stress without reflexology, without reflexing, initiating the fight or flight or freeze response when it is not needed. So, I mean, we don't always need those responses. Sometimes we may do, but not most of the time. In today's stresses, we don't need to run or freeze. But our body automatically will do certain things to protect us. And so this will help us, this technique will help us be able to think clearly when something is happening. So by holding these reflex points, you're able to direct the blood flow, chemistry, and energetic patterns to calm and stabilize the nervous system. This instructs the primitive brain that the crisis is not a real physical threat. So this tells our primitive brain, our brain, that the crisis is not a real physical threat that needs to be met by fighting or fleeing. So we're like bringing back some clear thinking into our actual brain to get us to think more clearly, so we don't feel like we need to run or freeze. Okay. You can also hold these reflex points during stress or crisis to keep you from overreacting, to help you return to calmness and clarity. And I have done this. It works. Okay, so I am going to show you how we're going to do this. So holding the main neurovascular point, reflex points, draws energy back into your brain. Blood, oxygen, and cerebral spinal fluid follow this energy, reversing the stress response. So just by doing this, you're reversing your stress response. And okay, so we're going to go step by step together with this. All right? Okay, let's do it. Bring to mind a time that you were in emotional overwhelm, or use during a current crisis. So if you're going through something right now, this is really good to practice this while you're going through it. Or maybe in this moment you don't have anything going on. Maybe you can bring something up just safely that's not too triggering, just something light that is not too triggering, but maybe a little bit of emotional overwhelm. You can bring that up in this moment. So you're going to place your fingers on your frontal neurovascular points, reflex points, and hold them gently with a very light pull to the sides of the forehead for 3 to 5 minutes while you think of the stress. Sink deeply into the emotion and stress as you hold the points. So basically, you're going to put your fingers here, and you have your thumbs over here on your temples, and just lightly, very lightly press, and then pull just very lightly, and just stay right there. And just breathe and kind of think about what's going on, or maybe you're in something right now, and just hold these points. If you're thinking of a particular stressful event, you can have someone else hold the points for you. So you can have a partner do this for you. You can have them place their hands on you and do this for you. You can also hold the frontal points with the palm of one hand and use the other hand to hold the fear near the hold the neural the neural points directly behind your eyes, on the back of your head, or just above your neck. So basically it looks like this and like this. Okay. This is the way I like to do it. So, I mean, you can do like this. I like to do this. It just feels more supported this way. So just feel out, just kind of figure out what works for you. And you're going to continue to hold as we're talking. After 3 to 5 minutes, you will probably find a significant shift in your subjective response to the memory or situation. Repeat again the next day or as needed. Depending on the severity of the issue, the time to completely release the emotional distress the memory triggers can vary, but the distress will diminish. The points reflex points have pulses. As you hold them, an increase in the strength of the pulses indicates the blood that has been diverted during the stress is returning to the forebrain. So basically, you're going to want to hold these until you feel the pulses underneath your fingers in your like your forehead. And that indicates that the blood is coming back. And maybe you can feel the pulses in your back of your hand if you have your hand behind you. If you're like this, if I'm doing it this way, I can feel it usually my thumbs. And you can breathe. And then just shake your hands out. And comment. I mean, what did that do? Did you feel anything? Maybe you felt nothing. But I highly recommend that you do that as often as you can, especially when you're in stress. But if you get familiar with it now, if you're a person like me that tends to gravitate towards stress, like go right into stress, if you're that kind of person, you may want to use those points on a regular basis. Just like first thing in the morning, do them before you start your day, do it in the middle of the afternoon, do them at nighttime before you go to bed. That actually starts getting your brain trained to keep that blood flow up here instead of going out here. So it's the consistency and repetition, and you're training your brain to be more calm in stressful situations. So I don't have it all the way down. I'm not perfect in any ways. Like I said, I need to let go of perfection. But I can tell you that when I remember to use them, it works. It really does. And I do like to do them first thing in the morning and right before I go to bed. It's very, very helpful. So I hope that is some good insight for you. And I hope that helps you. Okay. So let's just take a breath. Before we go on to the next, we're going to do an oracle pull. So the oracle pull today I'd like to give this is coming from the Animal Elders deck. So I'm going to shuffle, and whenever you're watching this message is for you. Elder Dragonfly, travel through dream time. Oh, isn't she pretty? So what does this mean for you? Elder Dragonfly. I'm just going to look at the information and then I'm going to give the meaning. So, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, all right. So this message is to tell you that right now, if there is any heaviness in your life right now, it's going to be transformed, and things are going to be lightening up, especially with the weather changing and the seasons changing. Things are going to be lightening up for you, and you're not going to really have to do much to do that. It's just a time of transformation for you. The biggest thing for you is not to stand in your own way, not to stop the process. And sometimes the transition from darkness to light can be a little bit uncomfortable, and that's okay. It's okay to do that. Do those points that we just practiced during that time. Whenever you feel that heaviness in you, do those points, and that will release some good energy out there for you so that you can navigate these transitions in a gentle way. And the other thing it says, hold on 1 minute, I'm going to go over here and get a book. So this is my library, and I'm looking, there is a book that came to mind. Here it is right here. So the other point of this card is about astral projection. Okay, so This book right here, Astral Projection for Psychic Empowerment, the out-of-body experience, astral powers and their practical application. So this book right here, and I will try to find a link to join with this video, but as a resource, but this is a personal empowerment book. It's Astral Projection for Psychic Empowerment. And so this dragonfly card is also talking about your dreams and astral projection. So it is, if you were wondering about your gifts, if you're wondering what direction you should go into and what you should focus on, astral projection. And this book is excellent because it not only works on astral projection, but it helps with your psychic empowerment. I love astral projection. I use it all the time. I love it. Absolutely. And anybody can do it. And this book is like a how-to. So this would be really good for you. So if you're watching it, check that book out. Okay. All right. So I'm going to put those up. Let's take another breath. And the last thing that I want to touch on is that I just had some messages come in my meditation I just want to share with you. There are things in this world that are really chaotic right now. There are a lot of things happening out in the world that is chaotic and confusing and scary, and as for a human being. So what I'm reminded when I ask my spirit guides to give me a message on that, it's like for myself, because I take on other people's energy and the world's energy, and I hurt for other people deeply. I ask myself what it is that I can do for that. What can I do for myself, and what can other people do for themselves when they're in this fear, when they are just navigating through this chaos right now that's happening in the world. And this is the message. Energy is everything. We are all energy beings. And where we put our energy is what we get more of. Change is available in this world, but it only happens when we are the ones doing the changing. So when you find yourself maybe complaining or getting angry or getting upset about a situation, ask yourself, what can I do about this situation? And is worrying about this situation doing anything? Is stressing about it, being in fear of the situation, going to do anything for me and my family in this moment? And if it's not, then let go of that. I know, easier said than done, but it's important to remember that everything is energy. And the more energy we put into things, the more of those things we get. So it's important that if you want changes to happen, if you find yourself angry about a situation, upset or hurting about a situation in the world today, you have to go back to self and ask yourself, what can I do? What can I do to make a difference? Because each and every one of us can make a difference in this world. But it's up to the individual to take the steps, to open the voice, to take action. So if you find yourself in fear or upset about something in this world, the question to ask is, what can I do to make changes in this world with this situation? And being in fear and upset about it is not the energy to put into it. But finding a way to take action, finding a way to stand up for yourself, finding a way to make a difference in this world is where you're going to find your power. It's where you're going to find your freedom. And please remember that each and every one of us, no matter how small the act is, no matter how small the action step is, it is all part of the whole. And since everything is energy, if you are putting an action step into something great, into making a change in the world, even if you don't see that change happening, just know that the energy is being projected out there from your action, and there will be changes that happen. And maybe it will be just in your little world, but you'll still be able to gain some safety with that and some power. And you are that powerful. And the last point to remember is that everything is temporary. Nothing lasts forever. In this world, nothing lasts forever. Things are meant to be destroyed so that new things can be rebuilt. So remember that not all times that we know the whole picture of a situation. Not all times can we really understand what's really going on behind the scenes in the divine world and what things have to happen for greater things to happen. So things may look dark and ugly right now, but that doesn't mean something great isn't going to come from that. So remember, everything is temporary. What is now will change. But if you want that change to happen quicker, if you want that change to happen in a positive, good way, again, energy is everything. Go back to that and ask yourself, what can I do to make these changes? Stay. Thank you for showing up for yourself today. I love you. Have a beautiful, blessed day, and I will see you soon.